Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Will social media do anything to deal with the abuse black footballers face online?
Order! Order!
Fed up with Brexit? Us too. We'll show you some of our funniest bits. An amazing picture of a thing far, far away. And these two are back in live action. The new Lion King trailer drops and the internet roars. And is that a bag? No, it's an animal doing stuff. And top of our newsfeed, racism in football. Every week there is a new incident of a black player being abused on the pitch. But in the social media age, the stuff that was once confined to the stadium now happens on a player's Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And now there are calls to try and tackle it.
It's 2019 now, I keep saying it, and it's just it's a shame to see this keep going on. It's now time for the people that are in charge to put a real stamp on it, because you know you can find someone, but what's that going to do? You've got to do something that's going to really make them think twice.
So Brexit still means Brexit, I think, but they won't Brexit Friday or even in June, and now they're likely to Brexit in October. And if you're as sick of the whole thing as we are here are some Brexit lols to ease your pain. Enjoy.
Order!
Brexit has been extended again.
Morning, everybody. I've just met with Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, where I agreed an extension to the Brexit process to the end of October at the latest.
Order!
So the process goes on. A process which began on the 24th of June in 2016.
The country has just taken part in a giant democratic exercise, perhaps the biggest in our history.
And almost immediately became absurd.
I expect to go to the palace and offer my resignation, so we'll have a new Prime Minister in that building behind me by Wednesday evening. Thank you very much. Right.
Parliamentary proceedings have shown the Speaker of the House, John Bercow, at his orderly best.
Order! Zen, restraint, patience. The Honourable Gentleman has got to learn the art of patience. So we'll leave it there, and we come now. Now, I'm not. Very well. Is that in looking at it, the Honourable Gentleman from Torbay can shunted from a sedentary position in evident disapproval of the thrust of the argument that I'm developing, if he so wishes. But it doesn't detract from the fact that I'm making the point I'm making. He doesn't like it, I do, and we'll have to leave it there.
And the whole thing has left seasoned journalists baffled.
You know what, people like me are paid, aren't we, to have insight and foresight and hindsight about these things and to be able to project where we're going to go. To be quite honest, looking at things right now, I haven't got the foggiest idea.
Bemused.
Really expecting any of the proposals last night.
And lost for words.
Order!
It seems like no one knew what was happening.
I said to one cabinet minister, why is the Prime Minister holding a vote when she's pretty sure that she's going to lose? And using very strong language, this cabinet minister said to me, knows, I'm past caring, it's like the living dead in here.
Oh, God.
But it isn't only Westminster. The EU also get a special mention for getting in some digs and lols along the way.
De ma vie. Je vous le dis pour que ne vous pensiez pas que ce sera Madame May qui m'aurait infligé.
But the ultimate Brexit stalwart has to be Theresa May, who was able to dance and laugh while all around her seemed to be burning. So, here's to months more of all of this. The new deadline for Britain to leave: Halloween. All right, let's take a look at some of the other things that have caught our eye on social media. And this footage of the moment a bearded Julian Assange is carried out of the Ecuadorian embassy in London is going viral. He's been arrested for failing to surrender to court in the UK and in relation to a US extradition request. Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks and is wanted in the United States for publishing information on the way that US security services kill, kidnap and torture people. And amazing picture of a black hole of all things is being shared all over the web. It was taken using 8 telescopes, and my favourite fact about this thing is that it's 40 billion kilometres across. That's 3 million times the size of our Earth. Now, our science editor, Professor Havaleshka, better known to us as Dan, explained why it's so important.
It's because of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, and that described how gravity is expected to behave, and where better to study it than a place where it's really strong. And today, what one scientist said was Einstein's theory of relativity passed a critical test. They saw what they expected.
And the reaction online was a mix of wonder and whimsy. First, the wonder. The man who invented the Xbox, Seamus Blackley, wrote, "The black spot in this image is larger in diameter than our solar system. It weighs more than our galaxy." YouTuber PewDiePie made fun of the fact the photo is blurry, tweeting, "They borrowed my camera." Fakar Khalid said he's sure images of this will get better in the future. And this last one, it compares the black hole to the Eye of Sauron, which is kind of what I thought too.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance.
Now be prepared for sensational news. The internet and the world just can't wait to see The Lion King. The new trailer has been watched 10 million times since it dropped yesterday. It shows us Pride Rock, the Elephant's Graveyard, the Gorge, it's all there. And you can see the film for yourself on July the 19th.
You must take your place in the circle of life.
Now something far more serious now, and in Japan the number of people killing themselves is sadly very high. So society there is trying to do something to help.
His body was wrapped up in a blanket and he was taken to the hospital for an autopsy. He was already in a coffin when they returned his body later that afternoon. I cried and cried.
It helped me decide not to give up. I guess you can say that thanks to these chats, I became cheerful again.
Okay, let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Thursday. Airbnb has reversed its decision to not list properties in the occupied West Bank. Israeli settlements there are illegal under international law. Airbnb say they will donate all profits they make from rentals in the occupied territory to humanitarian organizations. That news has not stopped many saying they will now boycott Airbnb. The boss of a company called Xiaomi has been given a $962 million bonus. His name is Lei Jun, and he says he'll give the money to charity after paying the tax on it. Now, if you didn't know, Xiaomi makes smartphones and were the world's 4th biggest smartphone maker in 2018. The world's first delivery service, which uses drones, has been launched in Australia. It's run by a company called Wing, which is part of Alphabet, which owns Google. The drones will deliver food, coffee and medicine to some 100 homes in the city of Canberra. Faisa Leisa did this during the 2016 Rio Games. It was a protest against the treatment of people in Ethiopia. It drew the world's attention but put Faisa's life in danger. He's now been given $17,000 by the new president of Ethiopia, Ahmed Abiy. And this tweet was sent by a guy who writes for The New Yorker. His 3-year-old had tried to get into his iPad, and having tried for who knows how many times, the Apple safety feature kicks in, and that's right, it says he can try and re-enter his password in 25,536,442 minutes, which is 48 years. That's 2067. Apparently he put the thing into recovery mode, so now it's all good. Now for some cool archaeological news, just the kind of thing we like. What's been described as the world's oldest shipwreck has been discovered off the coast of Turkey. And in animals doing stuff, we have this from Twitter of a dog and its human on the New York subway. The text with this tweet says, saw this guy arguing with an MTA conductor about bringing his dog onto the subway. Dude says the dog's burlap sack was a bag. Conductor says nope. Now, it's been viewed more than 1.5 million times. The rules on the New York subway state that if you need to take your dog onto a train, it must be enclosed and not annoying to other passengers. This attempt to get around the rules clearly breaks both. And that will do from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me 24/7 at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.